Hey guys, and welcome back. I figure we're gonna go pick it back up on the Sport Tracks, which the first video we were welding up the frame and solving an oil leak, or so we thought we solved an oil leak. That does not look good, so we are having issues with it still leaking. Well, let's get her back off the lift. We're gonna go flip her up on its side again and do some exploratory probing, see what we can find. Well, because I don't want to keep screwing with this, I think I'm just going to cut this skid plate off here and here. I talked about it in the last video, and I want to get that out of my way, and I would actually like to replace it with something that has a little bit more stoutness to it, other than this kind of bends up real easy. I'd rather see even just round tubing like that. So I'm going to go slice that out of the way. We'll kind of clean this area up. We'll get a better look at what's going on instead of trying to peek in behind there, and we'll move forward. Alright, we're in. Let's go clean that surface up, get a better look at it. So I don't know if light's going to help us or hurt us. Again, you can kind of see right there, that seam is where that skid plate was kind of up against the engine and it was rocking. But I don't see anything that's kind of wore right through. And I thought possibly last time that might be a crack or casting marks. Again, I'm not sure of that neither, because I kind of see that everywhere. So I'm kind of have a feeling that that is not the issue. I don't think that drain plug is leaking. Again, until we clean it off and kind of watch it again, I'm not sure. But one thing I do see is that there is another plug right there. I'm wondering if that one is leaking down and around, running up the side of it. The only thing is I keep seeing it wet dripping off the end of the plug. That is the lowest part, but it would have to come from above that to see it. So again, I'm going to wash it up real quick, and maybe we'll pull that plug out of there. And I wasn't all that crazy about this thing anyway. I want to continue to run something a little bit heavier down there, but until we fix that oil leak permanently, that's not going in. Yeah, so I wiped that down with some Scotch-Brite and carb cleaner. Again, I see like a line here. I don't think any of this is going to be our area. I do believe probably that drain plug that goes up from that side is probably where it's coming from. And what's happening was when I lay the bike back down, it takes a while for it to seep its way down, get to the plug, and start dripping. So for the first day or so, it doesn't really show anything, but then after it sits for a while, it does. With that, we are facing the wrong direction because absolutely all the oil is going to come out of it when we go to do that. Actually, it may not matter at all because I got to change the oil anyway, so maybe that's a good time to go about doing that. We'll take both drain plugs out, get a look at it. I got to take the filter out of the oil filter out of the motor and do all that part. So having said that, let's go lay her back down on the lift and see what we can do. Alright, so we can get that plug out of there. I wouldn't say it was tight, but I wouldn't say it was falling out loose neither. It does have a washer on it. You guys want to come out here and see? So this one does have a washer on it, which is much better, I think, at sealing than that copper one I put on. Don't know if that was our issue. So he actually did buy 2 new drain plugs and 2 new gaskets for them, or seals, or what you want to call them. But he had put them in the carb kit so we wouldn't lose them. That's why I couldn't find them. So I'm going to go throw both of those in there, and we'll wash her up and put oil in and try it again. Alright, so I put the tuning plugs in it and I drained the oil. Refilled the oil. Won't leak if I don't fill it back up now, will it? Got those plugs back in. I kind of washed everything pretty good. I don't know what we could see. You can see under there pretty good. I washed everything. I'm kind of wondering to the left of the drain plug where that selector is. You see where that rubber bushing with the bolt in the center of it? Possibly that area can be leaking too and running down, but I would think that would kind of drip off the end and not want to run towards that drain plug more. You know what I mean? It would want to favor towards us, not running and dripping off that plug. So all that is clean and dry. We'll keep an eye on it and we'll start seeing if we get any seepage anywhere. Hopefully it's gone. If not, we'll continue to chase it. For now, I think we're going to go move on to, while that's doing its thing, we'll get the carburetor out of it and start going through that. And grab the air box out of the way so we can see. Okay, gonna pinch off the fuel line, get that out of the way, and we got 2 nuts and a throttle cable. A throttle cable doesn't even feel like it's in its holster. It's not even attached to anything. We'll hit the throttle. It's a choke. I'm just saying throttle. It's a choke that's kind of flapping in the breeze, and it doesn't have the bracket that supports it up there. That could make for a hard start. And it still pulls with the cable though. Alright, let me get some of that stuff out of the way. We'll get in a little deeper. Bolts are out, so we can get that out of there. And get behind it with a little screw. Got her. One carburetor. So let's get ready to disassemble all that and see what kind of prizes are inside. Yeah, let's crack her open and see what kind of prizes we get. Hopefully. That's too bad. Looks like somebody's been in there before and kind of like cleaned it out, but probably wasn't able to get the idle circuit clean. I don't see any actual crap laying around. That goes on like that, and that's like a splash shield. Tries to maintain fuel staying around the jet instead of it getting wet. I mean, sucking air when especially on a 4-wheel, which kind of bounce around a lot. Let's get a, what do we need? A regular screwdriver and something to tap the pin out. Bring it back when I got tools. Yeah, let's get some parts out of it. Dirty but not terrible. That would be the one I would probably suspect being an issue. It's the idle jet. Air fuel mix screw. There's a spring on there. And I don't think we have any we got one right there. That was flush. And that is just the idle speed. And that just is a pin that rides against the slide. It should be. And that little barrel just stops the slide, how far in the slide goes, and holds it open more for the idle speed. One on the bottom was the air fuel mix. Alright, take that float out of there, and then we can go into the soaker, and we'll let that soak for a while. And a drop is already formed. I'm looking up there. So it looks like that drain plug to me. I don't see anything else around it really. Just looks like it's coming right from the plug. I looked on the back of the engine, nothing's dripping down on it, so I don't quite know what we're missing on that guy. Why it does that. I know this camera's not a great fan of looking close, but this is the air fuel mix for the idle speed, and you can see right on the end of that all the corrosion that's on there. It doesn't want to play well. Right in that area is where I'm seeing. You can see all that corrosion right there on the tip. So I would say that probably wasn't doing anything as far as doing any kind of metering, and that could be our idle issue right there. I know it's tight under there, but if you can see, I do believe that is right on our drain plug, and our drain plug is still leaking. You can see it coming right around from the base of it. So something's going on in there that we can't see. It's been now 2 different seals, 2 different drain plugs, and it's still leaking in that area. I don't know if there's possibly maybe a little crack coming off the side of that or not, but we're gonna flip it back up and we're gonna go clean it up, and maybe we'll put a nylon one on there, see how that does. So it's still definitely leaking right at that plug. That's probably why somebody put plumber's tape on it the first time around. I'm going to clean all that up. We're going to inspect that real good. I have a feeling there was a crack like right there. I can see a line of some sort. Yeah, so that's our issue. Hopefully I'm not blinding you guys out with too much light. I'm just going to back it off a little. Right there is a crack. That's kind of in a tough place to go fix too. I'm thinking we're probably going to go and put a drain plug with the largest seal around it that we can. We're going to go clean this as best we can, and I don't know, maybe write stuff on a plug, and we'll just kind of run that up like a sealer. I just don't know if it starts kind of kicking up into this area, so I'm going to take a little bit of time, maybe some Scotch-Brite and some cleaner. We'll clean that and we'll figure out if some filler will do us, some seam filler of sorts will do us to repair that. I don't see it going across on this side, and I would say probably maybe somebody over tightened it and caused that issue at some point during its life, and then they were aware of it because they took that seal off of there the first time around on the first video, and there was no seal on it to give a better flat surface. And again, with that tape stuff that was in on the thread, just a little bit more coming out of it there. So it was a longer term problem, and then something that just started happening. Let's see what we can do, see if we can fix that. So I cleaned up somewhat, trying to keep you in the shade. And I don't know if you can see the crack goes all the way up, and then it goes all the way up to there. I don't know if the light's going to help or hurt you. See it? So there's your leak, and unfortunately that is in a horrible place to try and get. I think it wasn't from over tightening. I probably want to say it just got bottomed out, probably hit right on the drain plug, and the shock went through it. So my only thinking right now to try to get around it is going to be some kind of 2-part epoxy or sealer. Worst case, we'll even make it so you seal the drain plug right in, and when you go to change the oil, you probably just suck it out through the fill hole. But for the rest of the life of this machine, without being able to take that case apart and get in there and TIG weld it and on, it's just not worth, of course, chasing it for that fashion. It's yeah, you're right down into the gearbox of the thing if you want to try doing that. So we're going to go try to come up with some kind of sealer and see how that does for us. I don't really know another option around it that's you know, an option that's reasonable. Which one do you think? Well, let's see. trying to just burn off any contaminants that are around there, so the epoxy I put on there is something good to stick to. I was in the process of prepping it and getting it clean for getting ready to go. And I don't know if you guys can see up inside there, but where the crack is, like here you can see how far in the threads go, right? There's a good, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch of thread. But then, see it on an angle, see how the screwdriver's going in? There's nothing there. It's only got 2 threads right here. So this whole section is just really thin. Kind of a poor design. Oh well. Alright, so I'm going to go for the Permatex weld and seal. Let's see if we mix ourselves some of that up. What do you think? More than enough? Oh, they just cross-contaminated it. Alright. That should be able to go back on there and seal that. And I had a Q-tip ready to rock and roll. I don't know what to do with it. There it is. It done dropped her on the floor. So we mix that stuff up. It's got a working time of 5 minutes. It hardens in 10. So we got to be all ready to rock and roll in under 5 minutes, but I don't think that'd be that much of an issue. And it's a 24-hour full cure. What do you think? Pretty good? A little more. Let's go. Scrub the corners there. I think we probably can load up the bolt first. Right next to you there. Let's see it. It's a little tad warm from when I hit this with the heater too. So let's goober some of that on there. Yeah. I guess they serve a purpose sometimes. Get some on there. So that'll be the surface going out of that direction. And then we're going to take it, load up more on there. With that set, now let's go turn around and put our hold on, uninterrupted footage here. And let's see, we got to go get some up inside there. Start coating all that area. I'm going to try to concentrate where the issue is. And again, it's not going to be like we're going to take this drain plug back out again. It's getting towards the end of its life. Not that it couldn't run another 20 years like this. You just have to change the oil from a different location. And we get the other drain plug in the back, as like I said, we can pull that one out. You can stand it a little bit more on end, probably get most of the oil out of that way, or just like you do with a lawnmower, you could suck it out the fill. And we're starting to get a little slim on the goo here. What do you think? A little bit of something going around. Right. I think we go stick that back in there, let that ooze out, and then we just kind of feather it. Feather it over all the area there. Just a nice oozing out. There we go. I want to kill all of it out of there. just going to go and make a nice little bridge. I'm going to need to put my light on and take a look at that real close and just finish that up. And let's see how our soup looks. I'd say that looks nice and clean. That's how the float bowl looks. About as good as it's gonna get, huh? Alright. Hey, what do you say we put this carburetor back together? Got a lot of new stuff in the kit. Used to use an old crap over again. Let's go with I think the only thing that stays the same is going to be the center one. I believe we're maintaining that one. But the other ones are new. They've all been blown out and washed out and cleaned out, and I believe that one goes there. And I compared the number, it is the same number. I think it says 38S on it. Let's go with some glosses. Alright, we got a new needle going the float. That guy goes in like that. Where's the pin? Did we get a new pin? No new pin. How about right there? Yeah, let's get rid of that. I'm just gonna go check. Can I blow into the? I'm gonna go blow into that and make sure. Shut off. Flip the other way. I could blow through it. I can. Alright. That tasted horrible. Tweet. And we got the air fuel mix. The new O-ring on it. Turn that guy in. And back her off about a turn and a half. We have the slide stop, which is this guy. And that needs no replacement. I'm just looking for that to appear in there a little bit, and it is. I don't think I'm going to change the jet out of the center. It looks to be a smaller hole. Probably look and see if there's a number on that. There is a number on it. And that one says 95 or 95. And the one that's on there also says 95. Maybe we'll change it out. We'll change it out. Oh, it is the last carburetor I worked on. The jets that came with it I put in there, and they did not work. I actually had to go put the old ones back in, so that's why I'm a little shy now with I get it out of there. I'm not breaking it. Let's go with a beefier screwdriver. There it goes. So if I have a problem with it running later on, that's what I'm going to blame it on. Let's go with the bowl gasket. Actually, that has to go on the bowl. And we should probably go like that instead of trying to go the other way, because it's going to fall off if we do. So get that up at there and seated. I think we got it. I'll look under the scope real quick and make sure. I don't see rubber gasket popping out someplace where it shouldn't. I think we got it. Got a couple of new screws for that. The old ones had washers on. I'm going to throw the old ones back in. They look like to be a little bit better quality, and they have washers on them. The new ones do not have lock washers. And what do we need? The Phillips. There we go. The JAS Phillips. And I don't think I'm going to change the needle for the slide. I'm going to look at it real close, make sure it doesn't have any issues, but the part that's still on the four-wheeler that has the needle in it, which meters how much comes out of the main jet, this guy. So I'll look at the other one that's on there. If I see score marks on it, I'll change it. If not, we're just going to go with what we got right here. So I think that's about it, other than some kind of little guys, a couple of O-rings to put on. And that one's probably for the slide also. So we'll drop the machine down, stick the carburetor back on. Yep, I forgot. I slacked. I screwed up. Forgot that guy. I'll put it on. This is where it might get a little difficult. You got to get that guy. It has to line up right there. And now we got to get all this together without falling apart. We want, actually, that has to rotate to there, like that. And now we have to get all together without losing the seal. Let's try something like that. She's kind of bulging out there a little. Now we got it. I don't know, it's been about 45 minutes, an hour since we put that stuff on. Looks like it's out of focus. Looks like it's tacked up pretty good. I think we'll be safe to kind of go and drop that down. If it's going to leak, it's going to leak. I'm not going to wait till 24 hours on it. And again, I guess you can kind of more of it on there later on if we need to, but I don't know if that's going to be necessary. Well, it's too tight to get you in there when I was putting the carburetor back on, but that's all put back together. And I ended up using a tie wrap right there for that choke cable that was flopping around. I don't see, I don't have a bracket that will fit for that. That and the two vent lines are back on there. As long as our choke does what it's supposed to. Get that out of the way. You're not playing well. There you go. Yeah, I think that operation will be fine. What do you think? Try and start it up. Well, if the battery's any good, we'll give her a shot. I don't know what it's got for kill switches too. Thought I had a key somewhere on it. You guys see it? I don't see it. Oh, see, that's a start button. That guy. And I think you have to pull the reverse lever that we do not have hooked up right now for it to crank and start. So I would say maybe we try jumping that sucker with a screwdriver. let's see if it'll go. I'm just crossing the solenoid if there's anything in the battery. Let's give her some choke. I have a feeling we got something not turned on. Yeah, man. Yeah. Not sure. I'm gonna look for a switch. Think that might have something to do with it? Let's try her again. Let's see if it'll go with the button. The button might work. I hear the relay clicking, but it's not functioning. Alright, as we were. There we go. I'm going to crank the idle speed up a little bit and probably put the air box on, get the correct drag that we need. Let's turn the choke on. We'll let it warm up with the choke on for a little bit. Not dripping yet. Yeah, I can get the airbox on there. We got to go tweak that air fuel mix. So it runs, but it has issues. So as you can hear, if you go to nail it, it just kind of falls on its face and bogs down. And adjustments aren't helping it much. It still doesn't want to idle. But one of the things is I started draining some of the fuel out, and as you can see, that looks like a good vintage of P that's in there. So that fuel should be clear, not that yellow. So I think I'm going to drain what's in the tank out of there. We'll start with some fresh fuel and get that out of the way. Make sure that we're just running on what it's supposed to be running on, and go from there. If in the worst case, we got to go back in that carb and find out what's going on. So it's not running all that great, and I'm not quite sure it's going to be carb related or not. So I just decided to pop out the PP. So I still having issues with it running, so I decided to look in maybe to the valve adjustment part of it. I dug in, took the gas tank off and the cross brace and a bunch of other crap that was on it. Took the little plug out of there so I can find top dead center, which it is turned to. And just went in the house, looked up the valve spec. It's supposed to be 5 thou, and I do not find them being tight, so that is not our issue. I was hoping that I was going to find the intake of the exhaust valve kind of on the tight side and kind of screwing up the flow of things, but it is not the case. So I think I may pull that carb back off again and give it one more look and see if I can find something else that's not correct with it, and go from there. One thing that's weird is the gas I had drained out of it, and it was sitting over here on the side. It just looked a little yellow before, but now it looks like it's got a ton of water that's kind of starting to separate out of it or do whatever it's doing. I don't think there was anything in the pan that kind of caused the contamination, but that definitely has water. I know it's real humid out, but I don't think it's taking the moisture out of the air. I just don't know if I showed that before or not on the video. It looked fairly clear, just yellow, and now it's gone to looking like it's got a ton of water in the bottom of it. You see all that, the different what's settling out there. Well, that would definitely cause a problem too, but again, just not sure. Alright, so I took that carb off, blew it out one more time, give it a quickie over. I didn't see anything obvious, but again, it doesn't take much to take one of those out. So I just got the gas tank temporarily supported over it. Let's see if it likes to play. Better now. Well, there you go. I guess I just missed something in there, huh? That's more like it. I gotta get to that bottom one and adjust that one. But I want to button everything up first, because no sense doing that until we get the air cleaner on. I think I got her pretty dialed in. Turn the key on and see if she'll key in. I'm gonna let her cycle a couple times. I'm sure I got to go tweak that a little bit more. So I played around it a little bit. A little slow coming off the idle there, which I think is a little on the lean side. I'm not positive of that though. You can kind of hear how it's dancing around and fluttering still. So we'll see how that goes. We're getting there. And the other thing is too, is just we're looking and making sure that we don't have any issues with our oil coming out where it shouldn't be coming out. It's looking pretty good, but then again, it looked pretty good last time for a day or so. So I'll throw some paper towels down underneath. We'll let her sit overnight. Hopefully come back tomorrow and we don't have any more of that nonsense, and we can get a chance, we can flip it back over. We'll make a new skid plate up for that has a little bit more protection to it. And I think we're just back to putting all the guards back on. Actually, probably shouldn't put the guards and plastic back on until I run all the cables for the rear brake assembly. We'll put all that on another video. We'll try to knock one out every other day or every day and make them 25-minute videos instead of hour-long videos on this thing. And we'll go from there. So with that, I want to thank all you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and I will see you very shortly on the next one. Till then. Hey guys, just because I know it's going to come up in the questions, people are going to ask what that tool is and all. I don't have a name on it. It's just, it was one of those flea market kind of finds. So it's just made in Taiwan. It's a multiple bit set. I don't think there's anything on the back side of it either now. And it just comes with, that's the normal tool that the bits go in, and then it has that flexible wand that's on there that you can change the tips out, and that just kind of rotates it from there. So unfortunately I can't give you a part number or anything to kind of go look up. If somebody knows a link to one, I will attach it down to the lower level down there and keep it in there. So again, I probably bought that about 15-20 years ago at one of the local flea markets, and this was Harbor Freight setup that I was holding it with, but these are actual 3 different sizes. These are hose removal and installation tools. It's meant for pinching hose, pinching like fuel line and helping feed fuel line up onto different locations and whatnot, vacuum lines. And again, those are Harbor Freight. I do not have a name on it. It just says Pittsburgh Automotive right here, but I do not see a part number on them. So sorry on both of those, but hopefully at least answers your questions to what they are.